Before we begin with this presentation, I want to ask everyone to please hit the like right now. This is your opportunity to hit the like. And also at the end of the video, go straight to the description or go to the homepage and donate. Just click the Cash App link and donate to my channel so I can keep bringing out more content, mainly my own. So please, in advance, I'd like to thank you for your support and watching the video. Cheers. Does anyone remember back when you were a kid and used to look at people that are our age, that were our age at the time, and like they knew everything? They were so wise. You learned from them. Even our age, 30s, the millennials. You learned from them. You looked up to them, right? They're so wise. And as you got older, you saw that they got wiser too, because they could be wrong, but they knew how to handle it. They knew how to come back to you and be like, this is how it really is, blah, 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 I was wrong, this, that. This was the adult thing to do. I've witnessed this, I've experienced this. So where has this gone? This does not exist anymore. What happened to our adults? And in turn, because there's something wrong with our adults. So when I say our adults, I mean us being millennials, our parents. So from this point on, when I say adults, I mean our parents. So I'm saying, what went wrong? It's disturbing, yet it's a fascinating thing to think about, to witness. Because like I have like a detective mind. I love questioning things. I love researching things, and seeing this play out in real life is insane. I'm like, this is like the best project I can ever, take on. Because it really is insane. So where am I going with this? There was a time we could just seek wisdom from these people. Now that's gone. You want to know why? Because they're basically us. They've become what we were in high school. How did that happen? Because you cannot today approach our parents today and expect respect anymore. For example, if you have a different opinion about something from the person you're talking to, that's an adult, that's older than you, who should be wiser than you, who should be more tame, more level, more maintained. You should be the one that's approaching them all wrong, because we're younger, but still. I'm basically a practicing adult. I remember what I was told and taught by adults, and I'm practicing that now. I'm doing that now. And I find me doing that is suddenly a problem to the people who told us we should do that. So if I bring a question to someone, a simple question, just to have understanding, because let's say that adult has a different opinion from me, and I want to understand where they're coming from. I will ask them, so why would you say that? What brings you to that conclusion? Why do you feel that way? You know how they come back to me? They start cursing up a storm. You're lucky if they don't insult you. You're lucky if they don't insult you. And they're yelling. And I'm like, what? Am I doing something wrong? How else will I know? Because I ask a question to be informed. I don't ask the question to hurt anyone. Why would I bother fucking with somebody? I have my own life to live. I'm trying to gain something by asking you something, by getting your perspective on something. So I'll have an understanding of you, of what your problem is, or what your opinion is, because for all anyone knows, my opinion could be wrong, or whatever I bring to the table could be wrong. So if I ask you and you come correct, I'll be like, okay, I understand that. Then I could look into it and, get my, and find out, oh, so I was wrong. Or if I'm right, I'm like, oh, well, I at least have an understanding as to why you think that way. And I move on. Does anyone lose here? Hard feelings when that happens? Isn't that what we were taught growing up? Where is that now? I'm dead ass. I cannot ask a question, not only to adults, but millennials. I can't ask them something simple, innocent, especially if it's of a different opinion or mindset. It's an automatic attack from their perspective. Never in their mind are they thinking, this person's asking this to learn from me. I thought that was okay. And they wonder why I'm the quiet guy, why I don't want to deal with people. Because today, people are insane. And one would think that if anyone should know better, it's the ones older than us, the ones that's experienced it. But now, even the experiences they've gone through doesn't matter anymore. It's all about emotion. Because that was supposed to be a childlike thing, emotions. That was supposed to be something a child would throw a tantrum about, because they have no understanding of why you said this, why you told him no, why you said yes today, but no, why you said yes today, but no yesterday, and vice versa, things of that nature. Now, you won't find that. If you do, it's very rare. Because I can't approach anyone. I can't talk to anyone. It doesn't matter. If I do, it'll have to be an elderly person. It'll have to be an elderly person, because it seems like they're the only ones that get it. And a few of the millennials who do as well. Because I can count, out of all the friends I have, I can count only on one hand how many are actual adults who behave like adults, who will approach you in the proper way. Because I've never gone to anyone incorrectly. I wasn't raised that way. I know to be respectful. I know I was taught, if you want to learn something, if you want to understand something, if you want to know somebody's perspective, you just ask a question. I never used to do it when I was a kid because I was too shy and I was too quiet. But now I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? Because you're just going to yell and get crazy. And I'm like, turn me into the bad guy just for asking a simple question. Like, I just want to know your perspective. I want to know why you think this way. It doesn't necessarily have to be politics, but I'm just saying, just why? So I can learn. And as an adult, you should want to teach someone. Where has that gone? My theory, because before I get to the theory, I was a recluse, so I was quiet. And in turn, I was very observant. So I can tell the difference between adults back when I was a kid and adults now. When I say adult, the same people I used to look up to, who used to teach me, or who used to say these words, they are not the same people anymore. What happened? So I started thinking, when did this start? And I noticed keep in mind, this has nothing to do with politics. This was before that. And I'm trying to think, and I'm narrowing down to when social media started to, blow up. So this is just a theory. Because unlike a lot of you adults, I can say, if somebody responds to this and says, oh no, well the reason is this, I won't be like, no, no, fuck you. I know what I'm saying. I know what I said. I know what I'm thinking. I'm right. I'm right. I know, because I know that. No, I will be like, okay, let me look into that and see. Simple. I'm not angry. Who wants to be wrong and strong about it? I don't want to be a fool. So if you have a better perspective or a different perspective, let me look into it. But that's, like I said, that's gone. So I was trying to narrow down where it started. Like I said, it was social. My theory is it's social media. And trying to think back, I'm like, but at what point? And I remember this hit me in the head. I was like, you know what? When Facebook first started, it was just for college students, alumni of high school, college, this and the other. At some point, it became elementary school, so you could keep in touch with those you went to school with, and do your little thing, share your thoughts, this, that, and the other. But it was maintained. It was basically for us, because every website, had their, niche. Like MySpace had comedy and music. It was mostly an entertaining thing, but we still got, but everybody could have had one. They advertised on it. Whatever their endeavors were, they did it. And Facebook was, like I said, the school thing. Eventually, Instagram was just the photos. Twitter, these little just blurbs you just throw out and leave it and go. But I remember complaining when they decided to open up Facebook to everyone. And I was like, why the fuck would you do that? There are things I would like to talk to my peers about, or, school peers about, that I would not want my parents involved in. We're millennials. We will understand each other. Let it be about us. But then everybody was able to get in. Then I said, okay, I know how the media works. I know how the mind control works. Because, like I said, I was reclusive, very observant. I can see the influences. I grew up seeing trends come and go, seeing the drone mentality. Anything new came out, people jumped on it. Me, personally, as a kid, I was very picky. I went with whatever vibed with me. For instance, a lot of you might remember the yo-yos when those came out. Remember how that was hot for like 2 summers or something? I still have mine. I still play with mine because I liked it, not because everyone else did. Then there was the marbles. Same thing. That was around junior high. It just came back. Full force, it just came back. Everybody used to try to find that special marble. Everybody had that special marble to Then there were the cornrows, and there was the waves, all that stuff. That wasn't me. When it came to the cornrows, I was like, nah, that's not for. But every male friend I had it. Every female friend I had did my male friend's hair. But I was like, no, because every rapper had it. Iverson had it. So they all did it. I'm like, that's not me. I do it because I find it fascinating. I said, does that suit me? Does that vibe with me? Will I enjoy myself enjoy it if I did that? If I look in the mirror, will it, through my mind's eye, will that suit me? Will I be down with that? And I said, no. Nah. But with the waves, I was like, I could maybe, I tried once and I was like, nah, it's not for me. That's what I just thought for myself. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, because I know how these things work. Some people can escape this type of thing. Some people can't. Doesn't make you lesser than me or a bad person or anything like that. So please try to keep perspective in what I'm saying here, because a lot of it ain't even your fault. So back to the social media thing. I noticed that's about the time when things got flipped, when adults stopped being adults. That was the time, because they can publicly see what we're into. Before, you and your friends will run into your room and talk about whatever, do whatever, listen to whatever, hang out at some park or anywhere and chill. But now with social media, the parents are seeing what we were doing. And I saw them starting to turn into us. And I was like, maybe they're doing it so they can relate, so they can better parent us. Maybe if they started speaking our language, we can understand. Because when you're a teenager, you're a rebel. You rebel against your parents' way. But no, it went further than that. They were actually becoming us. They started getting into the things we were getting into. They started really going hard on the music. They were blasting our music, and I'm like, yo, what happened to the classics? Yo, why you stop playing that? Why are you playing this? I mean, I understand if you run a store and you want to get like the younger customers into, for profit. But outside of that, you really enjoy this? You really enjoy what I enjoy? Okay. And it just started getting where now, like, we moved on to reality TV. Reality TV now. Because who's on reality TV? Yeah, there are millennials there, but there are a lot of people that are our parents. You're seeing doing the same shit we were doing. We're acting the fool. Now they're acting the fool just like us. Why are they acting like they're supposed to get into what we get into so they could weave their way through to get into our minds to teach us? That's what I thought. No, they've become us. Now I'm saying, is this wizardry? Is this part of the mind control? Is this the point of it all? Because today I can't look to an adult and seek wisdom anymore. I have to find it on my own, or find someone who's elderly, who's not, too senile to impart some wisdom. Gotta do it myself. So what happened to adults? And my complaint isn't that they're doing what we do. It's not only that. It's that you cannot be an adult with them anymore. You can't approach them anymore. I can't have a different opinion without them. I can post something online they won't like, that they have a different opinion on. And they will react as if they're fucking 6 and throw tantrums, curse, call you out of your name. And I'm like, yo, I just wanted to know your perspective. Or why are you comment on this? Like, you could have just kept scrolling. I do. What? Why are you acting like this? It's like they're even worse than us. They're worse than us. You would expect this from people, our age, because you're like, okay, they're falling for it. The spell got them, but they're getting the adult. At least if they got the adults, can we get them without them acting like us at the same time? Could they still be adults but stupid? But no. And I think that now I'm very convinced that this was all part of the plan. All part of the plan, because this world has become so backwards that it's become insane. Now I'm gonna turn it political. The thing that blew my mind is this thing I see all the time from adults, people who have experienced racism, who have experienced segregation, who have experienced all these things, who should know who did this, because if you're suffering, you want to know who your oppressor is, right? So when like, for instance, I'm recording this on Inauguration Day, right? There are adults, Black adults, who are happy that, would this even stay up if I say their names? Well, it's Inauguration Day. You know who I'm talking about. These two people, legit racists. Legit. There's no assumption here. When it comes to the orange man, you can jump to that conclusion. You can guess based on certain words he says, but there's no action to convince me that you have to really think about it. You have to decide. You have to really think hard. Is he or is he not? If there's a question in your mind, you shouldn't go that hard until you know for sure. But these two, there's no question. All you gotta do, it's all public record. All you gotta do is look into it. You'll see that this woman is not black. This woman is not black at all. Just because you have a dark skin tone does not mean you're black. It's all about what's in the blood when it comes to color. I'm not. I don't even care. Like, really and truly, I don't care about race and things like that. The only time I care about race is the fact that some are oppressed and some aren't. I just want all of us to just fucking elevate. So I will complain when I see black people being torn down, or Hispanic people are being torn down, or Asian people. Nah, that I don't want to see. You understand? And because I myself am black, I want to see us grow. With that, it's mind-blowing that this is saying yes to that. You know? I do, for instance, coming back to the adult thing. Personally, when I see posts where they make fun of Orange Man, or they say they don't like Orange Man, they say all this shit, personally, I give zero fucks. Because I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. Okay. That's fine. That shit was funny, though. What you said about him, that shit was funny, though. I can laugh about it because this doesn't hurt me. First of all, I don't know him. And secondly, he has done nothing to me or my people, so if you hate him, you hate him. You have the right to do that. But I find it strange that you can't keep the same energy when it comes to his opponents. I'm like, adults, remember. I'm like, wait. You're not going hard body on them when it's not a guessing game like it is for the Orange Man. This is legit. Like, there are people who suffered who complain about it. You could look up the people who have suffered because of them. It's in their record. They've even insulted each other on the debate stage about what they've been doing to us. So it's not like this is a live speculation like it is with the Orange Man. This is legit. But my timeline is cheering them on, and I'm like, yo, y'all asking for, so what are you, do you really adults, I'm talking to you adults. When I say parents, I don't mean mine, because I'm not going personal. I'm talking about in general. When I see these people older than me who supposedly either have suffered or whose parents have suffered the oppression, the segregation, who have family who have been lynched. You understand? Again, my people, Jamaicans, this Harris character, right? Her, was it great grandparents or grandparents held my people as slaves. You need to understand, she is nationally Jamaican, but ethnically Indian. Understand that. Okay? Therefore, because even her father started complaining about this shit. He's like, whoa, what happened? You're black? You know? Like, since when? Because she wasn't until she ran earlier last year. Okay? She was Indian this, Indian that, Indian this, Indian that, until she ran. All of a sudden, and all the signs are there. All the lies about who she listened to when she was in college, or rappers that didn't even exist yet and shit. Pandering at his best, but you couldn't ignore that for the sake of getting some rich white guy out. But you're cheering on a rich white guy right now who's basically richer than Trump is, because he stopped working. He got rid of everything, gave it to, he was being paid $1 a year to run the country. But this guy has been making money off of us since like 47 years. So I'm like, yo, so this fake black person, which is an insult to us and an insult to me because I'm Jamaican. So that's a huge insult. You understand? It's being cheered on by people like me. And I'm starting to see the perspective of how people were getting mad at me for I didn't even champion Trump. I was like, oh, he's better than the Hillary because she kills us. He didn't do that, but I understand where you can see, okay, rich white guy, you get angry. You're like, oh, they don't care about us, blah blah blah. You know, I understand that perspective. That's why I don't really argue with that. I don't bother people. So when I see those posts, I could just be like, oh yeah, I get it. You're done with this. You're done with seeing some old white guy just running shit all the time. You want to see something fresh. You want to see a female face. You want to see a darker face. It's very understandable. Very understandable. But that cannot let you lose sight of reality that you just let in jailers who's made their careers on jailing us. I don't get it. Adults now, I could go down my timeline. People older than me, people who have taught me in school. What happened to the adults? None of them can think anymore. None of them are logic. They're all emotional. They taught me, though, growing up, not to be emotional like that. You're supposed to have a balance. You're supposed to have logic. I remember in high school, um, what was it again? When they used to have us debate if was it mediation? Was it mediation class? Anyway, yeah, mediator. Yeah, it was like mediation where you discuss if somebody has an opinion and the other person has an opposing opinion, you sit down and discuss it. There's no yelling, there's no anger. You find common ground and you move on. There's no arguments, there's no, calling anyone out of their name. They taught us this. I remember these classes. And the fact that I remember these classes is why I practice it. So when I approach somebody, or even if I don't even approach somebody and somebody comes to my shit and starts asking me stuff, I will always be respectful. But if I approach them and ask them, so what brings you to that conclusion? What makes this person better? Or what makes you think this way? I'm not doing it to hurt you, but they're emotional, so they automatically think that that's what it is. You see, when you're emotional, you tend to assume too much, and the assumptions overtake everything. So no matter what the person says, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the wizardry. It's all I'm convinced it was all part of the plan for this drone mentality that's going on. I can't imagine ever living my life like that. Maybe it's because I don't know. It's just strange. These people post things all day like keep the same energy, keep the same energy, keep the same energy. There's one of my favorite reggae songs is called "Keep the Same Energy," so that shit's always on my mind. None of them do it. None of them keep the same energy, yo. All of them switch up on you because of emotions. I'm a Pisces. I'm highly emotional. How do I have a handle on it though? How do I have a handle on it? Interesting, isn't it? You should be better than me when it comes to that. Adults, parents, teachers. Why don't you? And why do you like to turn to your students, to turn to the youth through your eyes and try to hurt them because you assume too much and took offense because you're so emotional? You think that's right? Is that a good thing? Because as far as I see, because I love to step back and look in, what I see is that no matter Whoever leans right, whoever leans left, the goal is the same. The goal is the same. We want to stop the fuckery, right? That's the point. Because the complaints you have about Trump, even if they're true or not, the complaints themselves are legit. We're done with this racist shit. We're done with this oppression shit. We're done with losing our freedom and shit. So we agree on that. Just because we disagree on who does it and how they do it, why do we have to become enemies? Why can't we sit down like you parents and teachers, adults taught us, and figure out a way? But we can't. All we do, the first thing we want to do is fucking hurt the other person because they thought differently. And you wonder why people snap and want to, go crazy because or even kill themselves because they're like, well, what can I do? I'm trying to do the right thing. You are too. I thought we could be friends and try to do it. We were taught to respect each other's opinions growing up. You taught us to respect each other's opinions when we were growing up. But you're making me to look like the bad guy when I thought we were on the same team. What happened? This is backwards. And I wanted it. I figured it out, but saying the answer makes me crazy for some reason. That's another thing. When I say things like mind control and wizardry and shit like that, why is this crazy to you when you're the same people who meditate every day, speak on chakras and aligning it every day, talk about the auras and the energies? I'm a Pisces. I'm into that shit. So we're all spiritual people here. A lot of people on my timeline, social media, or even on YouTube, a lot of them are spiritual. They could be religious or just spiritual in general. So a lot of you watch shit like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. A lot of you watch psychics. A lot of you do tarot cards. So when I say something like wizardry and mind control, which is actual science, by the way, which is actually admitted by the government, by the way, why am I a conspiracy theorist? No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, yo. I'm a conspiracy realist, because conspiracy means when you conspire. There are laws. People get locked up and put into prison for conspiring, for conspiracy. There's actually a charge called conspiracy to blah, 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 to do this, to do that. I'm the bad guy. I know I ask that a lot, but I'm like, yo, how am I the bad guy? This is very, very interesting, very scary, but yet very entertaining. And I like learning. So you guys are just giving me more content, more things to learn about, things to learn from, to understand. Because maybe if I understand you, I could protect my future children from becoming you. I can make sure I prevent whatever caused this shit you're going through to make you turn on your fellow man, to even elect people who will kill you, will lock you up, will enslave you. They've done it already. They've done it already. You're wearing these muzzles right now. You're wearing them. Yet the CDC says it doesn't work, but they flip-flop every time. The fact that they keep flip-flopping all the time should make you know. And the fact that your complaint is that white men are doing this systematic oppression, systematic racism, all this shit. You're listening to them, though. They tell you to wear a mask. You say, oh. They tell you there's a disease. Oh, no. Wait. You're just going to listen to these old white people on blind faith? You're not going to research it? Because I did. That's why I know that this shit is serious, but I know it's not that serious to be locking us down, though. I know I cannot go to see my mom without getting tested or something, or making sure I wear a mask. I know better. But I also know that I don't have to wear it in my fucking house or walk outside when things that come out of your fucking exhaust pipe will kill you faster. Or when these yard workers use that leaf blower and blow all the particles from the cat shit and parasites and all that stuff you're breathing in. It's all in your car. When you go in your car, Because these people are doing it right outside your yard. It's going in your car. When you turn on your car and you put on your vent, that thing's going into you. You ever put on your vent or AC in your car and you just, it's like it was a windy day outside and shit went in your eye? That's the shit. That kills you faster. And you breathe that shit every day. That's why you get sick. That's how you get these fucking allergies and shit like that. And it slowly kills you. Slowly fucks you up. That's why in California you're not even allowed to do it, but they don't enforce the law because of who's working. Because of who's doing those jobs. But that's another topic. That's something that's for another day. But you understand where I'm coming from? You see the craziness, the insanity. What happened to our adults? Because you could have been teaching my peers not to be this way, to have critical thinking, to have forethought, to research. And the thing is, you taught us this, but it's been forgotten. Why? Because we're glued to this, what I'm using to talk to you right now. Again, I don't take offense when you people call me crazy. I just laugh at it because when I say you're being mind controlled and you call me crazy for it, the fact of the matter is I'm talking to you. You're watching a device that I'm recording from thousands of miles away from you right now in the palm of your hand. Some would say that's magic if you were to introduce this to an older civilization, wouldn't you? They call you crazy if you pull this shit out and be like, oh, it's called a telephone, a mobile telephone. You could talk to anyone around the world with this. Bring that. Bring this to the Middle Ages, yo. Bring this to the medieval ages, yo, and see what happens to you. See if, or say, you remember the Salem witch trials and all that shit? See what happens to you. So I know, I understand. I'm feeling that every time. But it doesn't hurt me because I'm like, I'm not the one that's going, I'm being logical here. I'm not emotional in this at all. The only emotion I'm feeling, I guess because I'm laughing, I guess is joy. It's funny. Because I'm seeing the fall of man right now, yo. It's insane. And I'm like, at least, and I know the best part of it is I'm not the only one who's seeing this. Like I said, I can count on one hand who else is seeing this. I'm like, okay, well, I ain't crazy. Good. So that means the mind control is real. Good. Okay. Because this doesn't make sense. This really doesn't make sense because we're seeing shit in our face, but we're ignoring it for the sake of man, for the sake of people. Like I say, yo, I've been taught by adults. Remember, by adults. Even the religious ones. I see. Oh, that's another thing, yo. Even religious people, Bible thumpers, yo, are championing these people, right? The ones who want to call everything's a sin up and down, but all of a sudden, the people who are trying to come in are pro-choice and not pro-life, but I'm seeing like pastors and shit. I'm like, yo, I might not agree with that, but look, if I'm because I have my stances on like abortion and stuff like that, right? I believe that like if the woman was raped, something like that, well then yeah, because that energy will fuck it. You know, I have my own opinions. There are people who have different. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I can't I can't see how you're a devoted person of scripture and be like, oh, it's okay. As long as we get the orange guy that I'm not sure he did other than what they told me on the news that he did wrong, but as long as he gets out, like, hey, you have my full support. So you just enabled somebody to kill like what you preach against all the time in your church till recently because orange man. You see what I'm saying? This does not make sense. This does, and this is one of the reasons why I don't argue. Because if adults are losing their wisdom, how the fuck can I argue with you and take you seriously when you're doing the same shit these so-called adults are doing? I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you. I just legit will ask people not to play games, not to fuck with people's heads, because that's not me. I'm legit. I'm straight up. When I ask a question, I mean what I'm asking. There's no agenda behind it. When I ask a question, I want the answer to it. You could say no, that's fine. Respectfully, my bad. I'll ask someone else or whatever. I could just move on from it. But instead, what you want to do is accuse me of being something that I'm not and start this whole stink and shit like that. When I tell you, please stop, you want to keep going, this and the other. I'm like, okay. This is why I expose people. This is why when people go out, because I don't go after people. I only go after people who go after me. Right? Speaking of those two trying to get in here, trying to run this shit, they went after my people. Legit. Both of them. People of my blood type, people of my blood, and people of this color. Legit. They did that. Look it up. No, you won't. You won't, because reality will hurt and it might break your mind. So, because if that wasn't the case, there's no way you'd even consider these people. You wouldn't get mad. You wouldn't try to make it about me instead of what the issue is. Because when I talk about things, I'm talking about the issue. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about me. I'll use us as examples to talk about the issue, but I ain't making it about you. But you guys like to make it personal. Isn't that an emotional move? Isn't that something adults are trying to tell us not to do? That's kid shit. Let's not do that when we're in the adult world, when we're in the real world, when we're at work, things of that nature. There are families breaking apart. People are losing their jobs. People are dying. Because no one wants to think. No one wants to be adults anymore. It stopped. It's insane. I'm telling you, I remember once I saw parents blasting our shit I didn't even like. It was music I didn't even like. Oh my god, that fucking song. And I see it like a middle-aged man playing that, or a middle-aged woman trying to dance to that shit. I'm like, the fuck, you're kidding, right? I never seen this growing up, yo. It's not until like I grew up and I'm seeing it, I'm like, something is wrong here. So what's happening now does not surprise me, because shit went wrong probably a couple decades ago. That's when it started. I mean, I know the plan was implemented long before this, but it's happening now. So I'm not surprised. So I ain't mad at it, because I know where I am, and I know I have people who I can speak to, who I can, rely on, and people who could rely on me, who are of sound mind. So if I have an issue, or I want to learn something, I want to get their perspective, or if I want to confirm something or see if I'm wrong about something, I know I can approach them and I'll be respectfully, reciprocated. They will talk to me and tell me, no, you're wrong about this. And I'll be like, okay, please show me how. Show me why, so I can fix it. Let me confirm with the third party, though, because I can't just take your word. And this could be bullshit. Let me double check. Sometimes you got to go that far. But that's what it'll take. But I'll never go after you. No matter how far-fetched, no matter how fucked up your thoughts are or your opinion is, my job is not to hurt you. My job is to observe and learn from you. And that's it. We've lost that. And I'm afraid we won't get it because our parents have lost that too. The adults. That's gone. Because we're at a point where we're more adult than they are. Insane. I guess the only way we can fix this is what I hope. Because I don't want things to go bad. I don't want people to get hurt. I don't want couples to break up. I don't want who wants to see this shit? But I witness it all the time. I've lost friends, yo, and I'm like, it doesn't bother me anymore, like I said, because I'm like, it's like when you break up with somebody, there's plenty of fish to the sea, you know? Same thing with people. Even straight up and down, even family. Because I have family members, like, I give zero fucks about. You know? So, I'm telling you, the best way to fix it is for them to learn the hard way, like I did. I learned a lot of things the hard way. Because I never used to ask questions. I never used to be brave enough to speak to people. And look where I am. I'm better for it, right? I just wish we could have skipped that part and just learned, but it's not. Who knows? Good luck.